Alright, I was tempting to do this for a while, but it's time to rank my personal top 5 anime boss units that showed up in the anime with alternate forms that didn't show up in the anime. And I won't count few second cameos because they never really actually show them in their full potential. So those will still be counted as not been shown in the anime. And keep in mind, this is everything going up to Will Dress Season 3. I'm not going to be really counting Divines just yet. But on that, let's just begin. So on the bottom of the list, which is number 5, it's Jeweled Ignis and Vanguard Ritter. Two finale boss units for their respective nations in their evolved forms, and we do not get to see them at all. But another thing is that the reason why this is on the bottom of my list is that we might still get a chance to see them in Divine Season 3, but it might end up being like the Red Zorga route where they did not even show it at all, and giving a new grade 3. But anyway, like I said, these two are just basically respective evolved boss units of their respective nations of the finale set, and they were not used at all, and I'm a bit surprised that Vanguard Ritter did not even get to see play, considering the character actually had some importance despite only getting one fight. It is understandable in Jeweled Ignis' case, considering the character was still in coma, so the Jeweled Ignis is probably much more in a what if scenario if the season really got longer or it goes to another season, because it would have been like a final obstacle for a certain character. But overall, just the same ranking, just because they're finale boss units that just didn't get to see play. But hopefully we still get a chance to see them. And then to number 4, it will be Greedon Mask and Red Zorga, the two characters that got new forms in Will Dress and were supposedly being one of their boss units, never got used at all. Very disappointing. And back in Zorga's case, it's supposed to go up against Orpheus Regis, considering that it's the rivaling character at the anime, while the character who played Greedon did not even play at all at Will Dress. So meaning that we never got the chance for Mask to shine, which I was really hoping that at least we got to see one episode where Mask got to shine. And considering that Mask season is kind of over, we're probably never going to see any Mask units on screen again. And Red Zorga is already irrelevant thanks to Faded 1 Zorga. And then to number 3, it's going to be another group. It's the Shinomon characters ace units, except for Shinomon himself, aka Akatsuki Hanzo, Isabel, and Makuth Malek in their evolved states. These three never really got the chance to show their evolved forms, just mainly for the fact that the anime was short. In fact, there were some instances that they could probably have shown their new forms and just to show their growth, but we never got to get their new forms until way later. And by then, the anime already ended. So these units were a bit unfortunate, but it would have been cool to just see. And then to number 2, it's the Apostle Stride fusions, along with the Defriders. Technically, they're also Defriders. But anyway, other than Shiranui having a Stride fusion, in fact 2 of them, the Apostles never got to show their Stride fusion units. And I'm very disappointed that we didn't get to see that. With the exception of Chaos Breaker, all the Apostles only used one Stride that had a first Stride ability along with a Generation Break 3 bonus ability, along with the Seraph Dragon. That's all they use. Other than that, they only use one Stride. And I would have loved it if they actually showed their Stride fusion forms as basically their final boss units alongside their Seraph Dragons. But unfortunately, we did not get any of them at all, and thus this is all grouped in as one whole list. So, before I go to number 1, honorable mentions. So first off, Draconic Blade Master Soen along with Full Bronto, mainly for the fact that these are basically exclusively new forms for V-Series for their respective decks that never actually got printed before, and the characters that do use their respective decks actually showed up in the anime, in the V-Series. So they kind of had to make new ones, although I just find it funny that they didn't just evolve them to one of their previous Stride fusions. But I would say these are unexpected to see, and they are just actually cool. And then we got Raging Fall Dragon, a what if scenario with Ren being reverse, because Ren did actually get reversed but never got to fight as a reverse fighter, so we got Raging Fall Dragon. But the only thing weird is that before he got reversed, he was using Mordred and Drag Ruler Phantom, which Drag Ruler was the evolved form of Mordred, so I find it weird that they chose Raging form instead of something with Mordred. So that's why I put this as honorable mentions, because I don't think it should be Raging form as being a reverse unit. And then we got Chrono Tiger Gear Glare, just a unexpected evolved form of the Chrono Fang Tiger, going further than Chrono Tiger Rebellion. But considering the character at the time got turned into a baby, this had no chance of being seen played at all basically, other than through cameos. But it was cool that they did this, just not really expected at all. And then number 1, it's Dragonic Overlord the Ace. Probably a unit that got shown in cameos few times, but never got into a full-on stride showed on screen. In fact, there were so many opportunities where this could have been strode in by Kai on screen, especially since he was rivaling one of the main characters of G. I am actually very disappointed that they never actually showed this on screen striding with its full-on effect. Just a cameo and that's it. And in fact, Overlord is one of my favorite units ever since it was first introduced, since that's when I first played, so I actually had some nostalgia with it, hence why it is number one with my personal bias. So I really wanted to see Overlord the Ace on screen, but this is the only one that did not get full-on screen with its effects shown, or even just did anything overall. And it was also the first stride unit as an Overlord. So yeah, this is my personal top 1 just because it was one of those that I always find weird that was never fully shown. So that's it for my rankings on my favorite anime boss units of Cardfight Vanguard with alternate forms that were never shown in the anime, at least full on, because some of them were cameos but I'm not counting those. What do you guys think of it? And what are your personal favorites that you would rank in? I just gave you mine, so go ahead and tell me yours. I would say some of these could technically be arranged, especially later on if later seasons show specific units not even being shown at all. I would say it could be rearranged a bit, especially in the case of Drajul and Vanguard Ritter, because I do really get the feeling that they are not going to actually show Drajul, Ignis, and Ritter at all, just because they're going to probably get new forms before they even get a chance to show them. At most, they're probably going to get the cameo roles as well. But on that, that's it for this, and see you next time.